Verstappen now is going to try and close us down into turn 11. This might be his last opportunity with the DRS. We're going to dive back around the outside. He got ahead of us briefly, but we utilised the fact that we had the outside line to sweep round the outside of him and reclaim P1 as we make our way into the final sector. I think we are going to be able to hold on to this now. We've got enough battery to burn all the way down this straight. The only way Verstappen was going to get ahead of us was with the battery, so I think it's going to be P1 for us. P2 for Verstappen. Hats off to Théo Pourchaire, who on his debut gets a podium, and we are going to come to the line and take P1 in Bahrain. But we are up into P2 off of this restart, and Alex Albon is leading a Formula 1 race. I think that he will want to hold on to this. You know, maybe I can help him out a little bit, my former teammate in F1 22 for a few seasons, but the help I can give him will be very short-lived, unfortunately, because as we make the restart, my engine is gone, and yeah, that is going to be the end of our Australian Grand Prix on lap 10. I don't know how or why that happened, but it has happened, and there is nothing we can do about it, and a great opportunity to score more points here is going to go unrewarded. Because yeah, we aren't able to continue, unfortunately, so we will be pulling off to the side of the track, and that will be the end of it for us. Really frustrating, really disappointing, but these things happen. You know, I would rather they happen at the start of the season when it's still quite low stakes, rather than end of the season when it could end up having an impact on my championship. You know, at this point, I'm just trying to gun for all the best results I can possibly get. But obviously, when you have a clearer picture of how the championship is shaping up, things can be a bit different. In any case, Max Verstappen wins the Grand Prix. He's kind of starting to run away with the championship now. I think he led home Charles Leclerc and the two Red Bulls, so yeah, a decent performance there from those guys. I think Magnussen came home in P6, so solid from him. But from our end, my goodness, this has got to be one of the worst Grand Prix weekends I think I've ever had in terms of my race pace. And we're going to round the final corner to take P12, and that really was not even remotely good enough. Probably the worst race I think I've had in terms of my own sort of performance in maybe this entire series. I can't think of a worse one off the top of my head. We're going to be burning all the battery we have. He of course has DRS, which will give him a little bit of an advantage, but hopefully it won't be enough to get me before we get to the line, and I have achieved everything I set out to, that is P14. We're now just going to have to hold Verstappen off for one more DRS zone, and if we can do that, we will be walking away with the P7 here, 6 points, which, you know, given the last couple races we've had and the fact that I didn't think I'd score any points at all in Baku, I am more than happy with. But we just have to hold him off just a little bit longer. He is just over 1/10 behind us. We are burning all the battery we have, but he has the DRS. Will it be enough for him to make the overtake? I don't think it will, as we cross the line to take P7. Yeah, we are now rounding the final corner. Sergio Perez wins back-to-back races in this season. He might even take the lead of the championship off that, we'll see. But as we round the final few corners, it is going to be a very straightforward P7 for us, and a good result. I am very happy with that one, and yeah, we are gonna see if we can keep that good run going in the ensuing races. We've got Imola coming up next. We get driver of the day for our troubles, and that is exactly what you like to see. Carlos Sainz, I just wasn't able to quite catch him, unfortunately. I tried my hardest, but I think, you know, the tyre wear, obviously we've been on these tyres a lot longer than anyone else has. It started to kick in a little bit and just kind of prevented me from being able to catch him. So as we round the final couple of corners, it is going to be the victory for Lando Norris, and we are going to cross the line in P6. And that was a pretty solid race for us, I think. And as we make our way into the final sector now, we are just going to have to bring this one home nice and easy. Don't take any unnecessary risks, don't do anything stupid, and we should be absolutely fine. Albon, I believe, wins his first Formula 1 Grand Prix. He obviously won the sprint in Baku, but he wins an actual Grand Prix here in Monaco. Very good job by Alex Albon, and we are going to round the final corner and come home to finish P4. And unless we have an absolute mare through one of these corners now, I would say that P2 is most likely going to be ours here. Any second now, Lando Norris is going to cross the line to take P1 and his second victory of the season, and we are going to round the final corner here, and we are just about going to hold on to take P2, and finally we are back on the podium. I am extremely happy with that performance. I am gutted that we couldn't quite get the win here, and I know that we were quite lucky to even get P2, but you know, I am just happy that we finally returned to the podium and scored some good points. As we round the hairpin, you can see that the gap to Piastri now, not Norris anymore, Piastri's got ahead of his former teammate there. The gap to Piastri is 1.5 seconds, so barring any major incident into the Wall of Champions, we are going to be winning this, I think. But nonetheless, we could still get a 3-second penalty. We're on 2 track limits warnings. It's not guaranteed. As we go through the final chicane, are we going to get through it cleanly? Yes, we are. We're going to hold on to the victory. Piastri isn't going to catch us no matter how hard he tries, and we are finally going to take our second victory of the season, and this one is very, very sweet. George Russell, I think, very lucky not to avoid to avoid disqualification there. Meanwhile, we round the final corner and we are going to take P2 here in the sprint. Nothing else really happened there. Piastri came home to take the sprint win. Obviously, it's not a race win, but yeah, he's still going to be picking up a victory this season. Tsunoda getting driver of the day there, and we are going to be picking up 7 points. And we are going to be rounding 2 more corners, and then this is going to be a second consecutive victory for us. We come round the final corner, and we are going to win the Austrian Grand Prix. And I think that might have compromised our run ever so slightly. The gap is below 3 tenths, below 2 tenths, below 1 tenth. He's pulled alongside me. He's going to go for the move. We're going to try and hold him off around the outside. We have to leave him a bit of space, and we have just about managed to hold on around the outside. We had the better run. He's going to challenge me down again into the Vale chicane, but it's a bit of a half-hearted effort from Charles Leclerc, and despite his attempts to get ahead of us, we are going to round the final corner to take P3 at the British Grand Prix here. My goodness, what a absolutely chaotic end to the British Grand Prix there. You couldn't write that, quite frankly. Théo Pourchaire gets driver of the day for his fight back through the field after the damage, and we take P3. So for Jack Doohan to be drafted into that McLaren, which, yes, it is a good car. It is a car with race-winning potential, but they're all cars with race-winning potential, the top 7 teams at least. So for Jack Doohan, this is an absolutely inspired performance, and he is going to cross the line to win on his debut at the French Grand Prix. That is amazing from Jack Doohan. Perez did not get close enough to us to challenge us, so we're going to come up to the line and cross it to take P6. And, you know, it wasn't a terrible performance, but from pole position, we really should have done better than P6. But today's hero, no matter what the driver of the day is about to tell you, it says it's Dennis Hauger, absolute bollocks. Driver of the day, all day, Jack Doohan. And so that has allowed Sergio Perez to get involved. He's going to go up the inside here, and we just narrowly managed to stay ahead of him. The outside line proving to be the superior line, and I think that might be the last pressure we come under in this race. We may just be getting away with that, but certainly I was struggling towards the end of this Grand Prix. We're going to round the final corner, and we are going to win the Hungarian Grand Prix, take our 4th win of the season, and I am extremely pleased with that. 25 points scored. We didn't get the fastest lap, but still an incredibly strong performance, and I think one that we should be very, very happy with, and maybe that will move us up in the championship. I'd say that this is probably an opportunity that George Russell does have to try and overtake us, and you can see he is super close, less than a tenth separating us right now. We are going to be wheel to wheel as we come on the approach to Blanchimont. Are either one of us going to back out? Seems like George Russell just about decides to back out of that one, and in the end that is his undoing here as we come on the run through the bus stop chicane. He's not going to be close enough to try and out-drag me to the line, and I am going to come up to the line to take P3 here. It was, of course, a win for Sergio Perez, but yeah, I am reasonably happy with that performance. Going from P10 to P3, grabbing 6 points on the way, and you know, limiting the damage from Lando Norris. Pretty solid result there, I would say. No safety car because it's going to be a little bit too late for that to really happen, but well, maybe we can save ourselves from a little bit of embarrassment here by retroactively saying that the reason that we we did badly in this race was because we had a mechanical failure, and it had absolutely nothing to do with the decisions and the mistakes I had made up until this point. You know, we would have scored points. Yeah, of course. You know, we were running in P2, actually, just behind Oscar Piastri. We were battling him for the win and everything. And then the car just decided to break down. Nothing we could have done about it. Such a shame. No, obviously, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, nonetheless, a very, very disappointing race from start to finish. And it ends in what can only be described as an incredibly disappointing way. In fact, it was so disappointing that in a second you're going to see I accidentally dropped my controller and brought up the sharing menu. Yeah, just to give you a perspective on how disappointing that was. Into the curve of Ascari and into the curve at Alboreto, aka the Parabolica. He can't quite get close enough into Ascari, but he is going to be just a couple tenths down on us on the run down to the Parabolica, so I'm going to have to burn all of the battery I possibly can. But we are running out. We don't have very much left. So will we have enough to defend from him? I think we just about will. He's going to go for it up the inside. We're going to be wheel to wheel on the run through, but the outside line just gives me slightly more speed. I've burnt all the battery I have, and it's just about going to be enough to cross the line to take P3. And in this race, we have gone from P14 to P3, up 11 positions to take a podium finish. We've outscored our closest title rivals. It was only Russell and Leclerc who were ahead of us there, and that is a fantastic Grand Prix. The tyres were doing that thing that you can see that they're doing now, where they were kind of getting on the verge of overheating, but they never got so... They never got so out of range that they were starting to get like super slippery or anything like that. They were quite easy to deal with when I was on the hard compound tyres. Probably not running in the hot air of cars in front of me all the time helped as well. Albon here has won the Grand Prix, and we are going to round the final couple of corners to take P10. It's not quite the result we would have wanted. It is a difficult race, but we're still taking away 1 point from this. It wasn't a completely fruitless endeavour. And yeah, we'll see what impact that has on the Drivers' Championship. Hopefully it's not too massive, but we will see. This just really was probably the most straightforward race I think I've ever had in, what is this, number 88? I guess 3 of those are recaps. So my 86th race this would be, because there's a lost episode. My 86th race, we round the final corner for what is my easiest victory in Formula 1 so far. But yeah, Jack Doohan right up our chuff once again, and we are going to have to work very, very hard to keep this man behind for the remainder of the Grand Prix. Well, it's not a Grand Prix, it's a sprint, but you know what I'm saying. He's going to try and have a go around the outside at the final corner. Is he going to have enough grip to facilitate the move? No, but he has kept a tyre in there, and somebody slowed down. I think that's Leclerc as he's crossed the line, and Doohan is going to beat us to the line, and he takes P3 as we get P4. Yeah, Leclerc running out of fuel on the line there, I think, possibly. Either way, he's managed to hold on to it, and that is going to be the sprint there. P4 for us in the end. Not quite what we would have wanted, but it's not the end of the world. We are in puncture territory. Every single percentage gain now increases the likelihood that we will get a puncture on this front left tyre. And if we get a puncture, we can kiss goodbye to P6, to P7, probably even to points, you would have to say. I don't think that we're going to be able to hold on to the points if we get a puncture at this stage. Now, we've made our way through the fast right-handers now, so I think the worst has been and gone, but Charles Leclerc is right on our tail as well. He was looking to go for a move potentially. I don't think that he's going to be able to go for one. We're going to burn the battery to the end, hope we can keep him behind. No puncture for us eventually, and we are going to come up to the line to just about beat Charles Leclerc to P5 on the track. And that is not the worst result we could have ever got. You know, we qualified P5 at the start of the weekend, so I'm not too disappointed with that. But Lando Norris will pull significantly ahead of us in the championship, and we've got a lot of work to do. I've only got a few corners left, and then I'm going to be the rightful victor of the sprint race. 8 points in the bag. Norris, I can see him in a train all the way down in, I don't even know what position that is. 21 drivers in the race. It looks like he's in about P17 or something like that. He's gone nowhere in this race, and we are going to round the final corner to take P1 in the sprint, and that is 8 hard-earned points. We closed the gap in the championship to 9 points, and I am very, very happy with that one. Hopefully, we can continue building from that and get a good result from 16th on the grid in the race tomorrow. It's going to be a tall order, but I think we can do it. And, well, at least they are staying afloat in the Constructors Championship. They are one of our closer rivals there, along with Red Bull and McLaren. It's anyone's guess who's going to come out anywhere in the top 4 there. But speaking of top 4s, we are going to round the final corner and come up to the line to take P4. And from 16th on the grid, that is a absolutely fantastic result. I am very, very happy with that one. I'm hoping we get driver of the day. We should do, making up 12 positions. Oh, of course it was fucking Lando Norris. Of course it was. Well, anyway, we did good. And so we are going to hold on from Pierre Gasly. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen has taken the win. Jack Doohan follows him up for another podium this season. What a stellar season Jack Doohan is having. And we are going to round the final few corners. Oscar Piastri is going to beat us on this occasion to take P4, and it is going to be us taking P5 here today in Mexico City. I pretty much did everything I set out to do, so I'm not too disappointed with that result, but I certainly do feel like maybe there was a bit more on the table, what with us qualifying P2. Kevin Magnussen gets driver of the day because he did manage to hold on to grab at least a few points there, and not a bad race from either of us. All I know is that it could not be closer between myself and Lando Norris right now. With 3 races left to go in this season, it's about as close as it could be, and well, things are only going to get more challenging from here. You would have to imagine that Lando Norris is going to pull away in the championship with me starting all the way down in 12th. But as we come up to the line, we're going to take P2. For some reason, I'm celebrating, which I don't really understand, because my rival has just evened me on points. But in any case, Lando Norris takes driver of the day for that performance. We do hold off George Russell, and it's going to be P2 in the sprint. But then maybe another twist in the tail here towards the end of the Grand Prix, as Carlos Sainz is going to go for a move up the inside of Lando Norris at turn 4 on the final lap of the Grand Prix. This could have major ramifications for the championship, and he's done it. Carlos Sainz has made his way into P2 here. I'm going to win the Grand Prix without any shadow of a doubt now. Only a few corners left to go, but Carlos Sainz has taken P2 off Lando Norris, and if he can hold on to that, then that is going to mean that I am going to have a 10-point advantage over Lando Norris in the championship. With just 2 races to go, that could have an absolutely major impact on the championship. We're going to round the final corner now, and we are going to take the victory here at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and I am very, very pleased with that performance. I needed this, you know. This was exactly what we wanted to be able to make sure that we can stay in the championship fight. I don't know how we don't get driver of the day. Again, it goes to Jack Doohan, but either way, it's a victory. Verstappen goes for a bit of a half-hearted move there. I guess just kind of taking advantage of the fact I went a little bit wide, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. Lando Norris does win here with fastest lap. Don't think anyone's likely to beat that. We've all been on medium tyres since about lap 14 or 15, so they're starting to go off at this point. It will be Jack Doohan taking home 2nd place, another podium to add to his collection, and I'm sure he'll be very pleased with that. And we are going to round the final corner to take a disappointing P3. I would have liked a lot better than this today. They're saying well done. I'm not really feeling it, but at least we still bagged a good amount of points, and the championship is still competitive. It could be anyone's game in Abu Dhabi, so we'll see how things unfold then. The amazing fight I was hoping for didn't quite happen. Lando Norris has crossed the line now. He will be the world champion, and there's nothing we can do about it. Lando Norris will pick up his first world championship in Formula 1 with Mercedes. Mercedes continue their Drivers' Championship streak of 4 Drivers' Championships in a row, 2 with Russell, 1 with Bottas, 1 with Norris, and we are going to cross the line to take P4.
Oh mate, heartbreaking stuff. That was such a good effort. Look, we might have just about missed out on the championship, but it's been a brilliant season. You've done a fantastic job. I have loved the whole thing from start to finish, and next year we've got the chance to go one better.
And with that, another year of Formula 1 draws to a close, and a new World Drivers' Champion is declared. Another entry added to that prestigious list of the sport's most incredible drivers.
What is up everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with me through that recap of Season 4 of our My Team Career Mode. Obviously I'm still absolutely devastated to have missed out on winning the championship, but I'm recording this a few hours after that has happened, and I have had time to recover from it, and I am getting ready to go for next season now. We must look forward, and that starts with signing a brand new teammate. We've been talking about it in pretty much every video for the past few videos. We want Jack Doohan. He was absolutely sensational over the course of the second half of the season. Ever since he came into that McLaren team, he's been brilliant, and he has accepted my approach to sign him for my team. So hopefully a low-risk offer will be fine, and it is. We have signed Jack Doohan to our team for at least the first half of our 5th season as a team, and I am hoping that he will be able to help us go all the way to the top of the table. I want Constructors Championship glory next season, and I think with the driver combined with Spec 3 on all of the driver related aspects of the personnel facility, we should absolutely be able to get Constructors glory next season. I'm going to have to push maybe even harder than I did this season to make it a reality. Obviously, we missed out on the championship by just 14 points in the end, but you never know. Maybe those 14 points will make a difference next season. I'm hoping Jack Doohan will deliver an absolutely stellar season. He'll be very highly rated. I think the only part of his stats that won't be either 100 or close to 100 is going to be that experience stat, because obviously he is still fairly new to the sport. But nonetheless, I am very much looking forward to working with him. As we already ascertained in the recap, we did get P3 in the Constructors, and that is going to net us $25 million, $11 million for prize money, and $14 million for the sponsorship target. So yeah, very nice. And now we get a season summary here. You can see I had my 6 wins and 6 poles, which netted me 2nd place in the championship. Meanwhile, Jack Doohan rode that 1 win in his first race, actually, to get 156 points over just half a season is actually pretty impressive. That was around half the total tally of points that I scored, and it was about double what Kevin Magnussen scored over the course of the whole season. So I'm hoping he can repeat that feat in our team. Now we get to the issue of the calendar. We've taken out Saudi Arabia, Netherlands and Vegas from this year's calendar, so those will be going back into the calendar. We remove another American Grand Prix in COTA. We remove Singapore, and I wasn't actually sure what the next race I wanted to get rid of was, because we're starting to get to that point of the season where I've actually got rid of the majority of the ones that I, could take or leave, and we're starting to only be left with ones that I actually do really like to drive. So I decided in the end I was going to take out Miami. So we're only going to have 1 American Grand Prix on the calendar for the next year, and it is going to be the one that wasn't on the calendar this year, Las Vegas, of course. So yeah, that will be the calendar for next season. Now we've got the issue of sponsorships, engine supplier, that kind of thing. I think we'll stick with Mercedes, and I had a look at the sponsors that I could sign, and I came to the realization that probably the best option here is to just stick with DSP Optics. Yes, we get a bit of a higher signing bonus for going with the other one, but ultimately I don't think it makes that much of a difference. And finally, here we are. This is the race suit and car livery for the following season. As you can see, we've changed things up once again. No sponsors on it at the moment, but we will shove those on in due course. Actually, I think the sponsors are already on it. It's just kind of hard to see in this light. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in Season 5.